In the hushed halls of academia, where dusty tomes hold secrets of ages past, there's a tale of obsession, danger, and forbidden lore. Allow me to introduce you to the haunting narrative of the Crimson Codex, also known as the most dangerous book in the world. This is the story of a young scholar named Simon Becker, a man driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge. His world revolves around ancient texts, and his nights are spent poring over cryptic manuscripts. One fateful day, amidst the labyrinthine shelves of a forgotten library, Simon stumbled upon a leather-bound book that was unlike any other. Its pages seemed to whisper forgotten secrets, and its very presence seemed to hum with an otherworldly energy. This was no ordinary book. It was a grimoire of immense power, and its name echoed in hushed tones among those who knew its lore, the Crimson Codex. But it was rumored that this book didn't just contain knowledge, it held the very essence of dark magic, and those who dared to delve into its depths often found themselves forever changed by what they uncovered. Simon, consumed by his desire to unravel the mysteries of the universe, couldn't resist the allure of the Crimson Codex. He began to read it, unaware of the dark forces he was about to unleash. As Simon delved deeper into the Crimson Codex, he realized that the whispers he'd heard were no figment of his imagination. The book itself seemed to be alive, its pages turning, as if by an unseen hand, guiding him toward forbidden truths. Each chapter he read unveiled a new layer of arcane knowledge, and with it, a greater sense of foreboding. He discovered that the book had once belonged to a powerful coven of witches, who'd used it to bend the very fabric of reality to their will. But such power came at a terrible cost, and the coven had ultimately been destroyed, their souls trapped within the Crimson Codex. Now, it seemed as if the spirits of the witches were reaching out to Simon, trying to bind him to their fate. Despite the mounting darkness, Simon pressed on, his obsession growing with each passing day. He became consumed by the book, neglecting his friends, his work, and even his own reflection in the mirror, which seemed to show a stranger with hollow eyes, staring back at him. His colleagues began to notice the changes in him, the haunted look in his eyes, the wild tangle of his once neatly combed hair. They tried to reach out to him, but Simon was lost in his own world, unable to hear their calls for help. Then, one night, Simon's apartment became a scene of chaos and horror. For those who stumbled upon it, the windows were shattered, the furniture overturned, and arcane symbols were scrawled across the walls and floor. A chill wind seemed to emanate from the room, carrying with it the stench of sulfur and decay. Whatever had happened here, it was something unnatural, something that defied the laws of nature and reason. As news of the incident spread, whispers of the Crimson Codex reached the ears of those who sought forbidden knowledge. Some were drawn to the darkness, eager to claim the book for their own nefarious purposes. Others came out of fear, hoping to prevent its power from falling into the wrong hands. Among them was a mysterious woman named Seraphina, who possessed an otherworldly beauty and an aura of power that hinted at her mastery over the arcane arts. She'd heard rumors of the Crimson Codex's existence for years, and now its presence in Simon's apartment had given her a lead. Could this be the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe that had eluded her for so long? Or was there something more sinister at play? When Seraphina arrived at Simon's apartment, the battle for the Crimson Codex was already underway. She found herself caught in a struggle between those who sought to wield the book's power and those who sought to destroy it. With Simon's fate hanging in the balance, Seraphina knew she had to act fast. Could she save Simon from the clutches of the witches and prevent the Crimson Codex from falling into darkness? Or would the book's power prove too tempting to resist and its secrets too dark to contain? Now, the quest for the Crimson Codex becomes a perilous journey through realms of magic and mystery. Seraphina teams up with a group of unlikely allies, each with their own connection to the book's haunting lore. There's Elias Thorne, a cynical yet brilliant historian who's dedicated his life to uncovering the truth behind the Crimson Codex. And then there's Luna Bellaris, a young witch whose powers are just beginning to awaken. Together, this unconventional trio ventures into the shadowy underworld of forbidden magic, seeking to understand the true nature of the Crimson Codex and the witches trapped within. They uncover a hidden society of practitioners who've been guarding the book's secrets for centuries, and they must navigate treacherous alliances and deadly traps to stay one step ahead of their enemies. But as they delve deeper into the mystery, they discover that the Crimson Codex is more than just a repository of dark magic. It's a gateway to another dimension, a realm where the boundaries of reality are blurred and unimaginable horrors await. to save Simon and prevent the release of these horrors into our world. Seraphina and her allies must face their deepest fears and embrace the full extent of their powers. They must confront not only external forces, but also the darkness that lies within themselves. For the Crimson Codex tests those who seek its power, revealing the darkness that resides in even the purest of hearts. And that, dear listeners, is where our tale takes a chilling turn. As Seraphina and her companions draw closer to the truth behind the Crimson Codex, they find themselves entangled in a web of deception and betrayal. The lines between good and evil become blurred, and they must question the motives of even their closest allies, for who can be trusted when the fate of the world hangs in the balance? If you're enjoying this terrifying tale, I invite you to join our growing community of listeners. Your support means everything to us. So hit that subscribe button and never miss an episode of our spine-chilling adventures. Meanwhile, as Seraphina grapples with the moral complexities of their quest, Elias, the cynical historian, finds himself torn between his dedication to the truth and his growing affection for Seraphina. He battles his own inner demons, confronting the scars of his past and the cynicism that has shielded his heart. Can Elias learn to trust again and embrace the possibility of love amidst the encroaching darkness? Then there's Luna, the young witch, whose powers are growing stronger with each passing day. But with great power comes great responsibility, and Luna struggles to control her abilities while battling the temptation to use them for personal gain. She must learn to harness the wisdom of the ancient witches trapped in the Crimson Codex, if she is to become the powerful ally that Seraphina needs. Together, they race against time to decipher the cryptic messages hidden within the Codex, each revelation bringing them closer to Simon and the dark forces that hold him captive. But with every step forward, they unleash new horrors into the world, forcing them to confront the consequences of their actions and the toll they take on themselves and those around them. And as the final showdown approaches, they must summon every ounce of courage and strength to face the ultimate evil, the embodiment of the witch's despair and their own darkest fears. Can Seraphim and her allies prevail against the darkness that threatens to consume them and the world? Or will they succumb to the Crimson Codex's haunting grip and become another cautionary tale in the annals of forbidden lore? Dear listeners, we've come to the edge of our tale, the final chapter in this saga of magic and mystery. If you've journeyed with us thus far, thank you for joining Seraphina and her companions on their harrowing quest for the Crimson Codex. In the heart of the Shadowed Realm, Seraphina confronts the spirit of the Crimson Codex, the culmination of the witches' despair and the personification of their torment. This entity, born from centuries of suffering and bound to the Codex, embodies the very essence of their sorrow. It twists their hopes and dreams, warping them into twisted parodies of joy. It feeds on their trauma, growing stronger with each whisper of pain. The ensuing battle is a clash of wills, a test of not just magical prowess, but of the strength of their hearts and the purity of their intentions. Seraphina, with her unwavering determination to save Simon and break the cycle of despair, stands firm. Elias, having shed his cynicism and embraced the power of love, channels his determination into potent spells. And Luna, guided by the wisdom of the trapped witches and bolstered by her friend's faith in her, learns to control her powers and unleashes them with newfound grace. The climax is a symphony of magic, a spectacle of light and darkness, hope and despair. The very fabric of reality trembles as the forces collide. But in the end, it is the strength of their bonds, the unwavering support they have for one another, that proves to be their most potent weapon. They manage to sever the ties that bind the witches' spirits to the Codex, freeing them from their torment. However, the victory is bittersweet. In freeing the witches, they also release the horrors that were kept at bay by the Codex. These creatures of shadow and malice, loosed upon the world, threaten to plunge it into chaos. Realizing the gravity of their unintentional consequence, Seraphina and her companions turn their attention to this new threat. They understand that their battle is not over, that the Crimson Codex, now stripped of its darker purpose, must be sealed away once more.